Hello, and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are not getting the results you are looking for from your digital marketing efforts, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy Hump Day. Hope you guys are having a wonderful summer. I love the summer. It's my favorite time of the season. A lot of people hate it. I love it. Spring, summer. Fall, not too much. But spring and summer, love it. Love them both. Anyway, as you can tell, I am in a wonderful mood this morning, guys, and that's because it's hot. But anyway, that being said, let's get to the topic at hand. The topic that I want to talk to you guys about is Instagram. And, the title of this episode is called How to Use Instagram for Prospecting in 2021. Technically, I should name it You Asked and I Delivered. The reason I should name it that is because a lot of people have been saying, hey, Frank, you talk a lot about SEO, you talk about PPC, you talk about LinkedIn and all of this stuff and Facebook advertising and all that. I don't hear you talk a lot about Instagram. So again, you ask and I shall receive, and you shall receive. So here it is. I'm going to talk to you about how to use Instagram, for prospecting in 2021. But before I get to that, I love when I do episodes like this. The reason why I love when I do episodes like this is because I know I'm delivering something that you asked for. So that being said, if there's any topic that you guys want me to talk about from a digital marketing perspective, please do not hold back. Please just send us an email at info@lbmsllc.com or call us at 888-416-7752. Leave us a message. We will definitely look at that. And if there's, we'll add it to our schedule as something that we want to deliver. Also, if you want to be a guest on our show, if there's something that you are doing and it's really, really kicking butt out there for your customers, or is really, helping you deliver your message properly, give us a call, 888-416-7752, or send us an email at info@lbmsllc.com, and we will put you on the schedule to be a guest. Okay, there's a little intake process, onboarding process to do it, but, once you get through that, it is what it is. All right, before I get into the real nitty-gritty and the in-depthness of this episode, I want to talk to you about some stats. As you guys know, I'm a huge stats person. Okay, I love the stats. Stats is what makes marketing work, because quite frankly, if the numbers are not there, you are wasting your time. Okay, if the numbers are not there, you're wasting your time. So that being said, the stats speak for themselves, okay, when it comes to Instagram, okay? Because more than 1 billion people use Instagram every month, with 51% of them being female, okay? 30 minutes is the average amount of time that users actually spend per day on Instagram. 81% of people use Instagram to research products and or services, with 130 million interacting with shopping posts every single month. Those are the stats, folks. So you mean to tell me with stats like that, you don't think you have an audience there? To be honest with you, I don't care what your demographics is. It used to be back in the day that people would say, well, Frank, if you're an older demographic, you should be on Facebook. If you're a younger demographic, you should be on Instagram, right? In terms of marketing, right? And that's still somewhat true, okay? It's still somewhat true. However, it is starting to tip a little bit. Okay? It's really, really starting to tip a little bit. And the astonishing thing about the stats that I talked to you about, 51% of the 1 billion people on Instagram are women. What does that tell you, folks? If you're marketing to women, you need to be on Instagram. Okay? So I recently had a conversation with one of my clients who's he's an attorney, and he most of the time for some, and he doesn't market to them, it just so happens to be this way, he gets a lot of female clients. I'm not at liberty to say what kind of law he practices because it's not fair to do that on the air, but that's for some reason, maybe that's, people who refer him, and mostly are women. So if he were to market, I would definitely market on Instagram if I were him. But we don't do that with them. We do other stuff for them. But anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today. I'm here to talk to you about some really, really cool ways to prospect on Instagram, because prospecting is a key element of marketing. A lot of people talk about marketing. Oh yeah, Frank, you got to put yourself out there and yada, 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 right? Yes. But you want to put yourself out there with the right prospect. So you want to prospect first, get an inkling of what you're doing, then you want to put it in front of those people who are normally your target audience, right? So businesses with a savvy social media marketing department, and if you don't have a social media marketing quote unquote department, you can outsource it, right? If you don't, a lot of small businesses, a lot of people like you and I mean, we're small businesses outsource certain things. So and me, when I take on a client, I say, hey, I'm part of your team. I'm a partner. You're not a client of mine. You're a partner. So they actually involve me in meetings with their staff and all that stuff. So it's really cool. So I'm their not just their social media marketing department. I'm their digital marketing department, or their marketing department, in general. So anyway, if you have a digital marketing department in the first place, or you outsource it, you're going to understand the value that they can derive from Instagram. Okay. That's very important that they understand the value of it, because if they don't, they need to start getting smarter with it. See, they focus their energies on creating communities in Instagram, and they want to, and then their brand, and then they use their brand by using the power of the visual content that Instagram has. So I always say Instagram is a great tool to brand. So you want to make sure that you always have your logo on any image that you put on and all that kind of stuff. That's a good branding mechanism. But that's just the way that we use Instagram. And there's a couple of ways to do it. If there's anything that we talk about today, before I continue, I just want to make sure I make this point. If there's anything that we talk about today that's not clear to you after this episode ends, you guys know how to reach me. 888-416-7752. Let's get on a phone call. It's a free consultation. I go over everything step by step. Anything that you have to have question about, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, it doesn't matter. Any digital marketing thing, always you can reach me. Okay. Anyway, so the question is that a lot of people have on their mind, especially people who are not in the younger demographic, or people who think that, oh, I don't get it. You're just posting pictures. How is this sales prospecting, right? So why you should use Instagram as a prospecting tool, okay? The point is that gaining leads is difficult enough, and qualified leads even more, okay? That's hard. Getting leads is hard, but getting qualified leads is even harder. See, Instagram's biggest benefit, and this is one thing I love, is that that it seems to have been like basically tailored and tailor-made for like certain industries, right? The auto industry, the beauty industry, the fashion industry, the travel industry. Why? Because you can put pictures and all that kind of stuff, right? And then those are they're among the few that I can mention. There's a couple of them that are perfect to fit this network, okay? But those are the popular ones, okay? So the target audience is already sorted in those that are looking for leads in that industry. So that's kind of easy for you. But some of the best internet marketers consider Instagram, the DM feature, okay, to be the biggest network development opportunity available that's online now. And we've talked about this usually on LinkedIn, but I've never talked about it openly here on Instagram. All right. So I'm giving you some nuggets here that I use a lot. So it's really, really prime real estate. Okay. Because the DM inbox is really used for casual conversation. Okay. Those are uses that Facebook Messenger usually has, but the Instagram is rarely used. So if you drop in a line for a prospect, there's a higher chance of them actually seeing and interacting with you, because it's not used like in Facebook. People drop it to people's DM on Facebook all the time, but rarely on Instagram. Okay. There's also a variety of ways that you can show up in a lead's inbox, right? By tagging them, say in a story post, for example. So that's another really slick way of getting their attention. And this is not invasive at all. A lot of people say, well, Frank, I don't, that's not me or whatever. Again, it's very powerful stuff. So I want to give you some strategies other than that. But that's just a little tip. Okay. If you start using that, those strategies I just talked about with the DMs is going to help you tremendously to at least start the conversation. Not only that, it's also going to help you, because the Instagram is all about the algorithm. It's all about hashtags and all that kind of stuff. And again, that's another conversation, but it kind of stimulates it when you do it often. Okay, that's the only thing. That's the only way I can explain it to you. But anyway, here's some strategies that you can prospect on Instagram, other than the DM stuff. The DM stuff is just some gold stuff that I just gave you. So try that and see what happens. All right, so Instagram uses some powerful discovery tools to find leads. Okay, it has some very powerful discovery tools. See, content discovery is what Instagram is all about. Okay, guys, that's why it provides users with powerful tools that I talked about, which they can discover new content and creators that posts exactly what they're looking for. The features are very, very useful for prospecting. So use the Explore tab, for instance, to type a relevant hashtag or a filter for a filter by location, let's say, to find what you're looking for. Then you're gonna see the top and most recent posts for every result to shortlist potential leads. Okay, so that's gonna give you the right audience size when you do this. And it's a little difficult to explain. Again, you guys can always reach out to us and we will help you out doing this, but this is very powerful. And that's why I want to list it first. The discovery tools that they have is powerful in Instagram. It's better than Facebook. So and definitely better than LinkedIn when it comes to the social platform. But anyway, as I move forward, you want to also look beyond the follow count. And here's what I'm talking about here, guys. And I think I've mentioned this on Facebook, but I've never actually mentioned this on LinkedIn. Okay. I've never actually mentioned it on Instagram. So it's very, very, very easy to get like distracted by the follow count. A lot of people look at that and go, wow. So here's what I mean. See, an account that has, let's say, 100,000 followers won't necessarily be a better lead than an account with half that amount. So the important thing here is due diligence, okay? Due diligence is actually required at this stage of the conversation, okay? That you need to understand the target's activity, likes and dislikes. That's what you need to understand. That's what's key, not the number of followers. So use this information then to tailor your message. So when you have an understanding of the prospect, of the prospects, and you allow you can be more genuine. Once you understand who the prospect is, you can be more genuine and personalized when you reach out to them. And I think I had an episode on whole personalization marketing, and this falls right in with it, and that's right in Instagram's wheelhouse. Instagram does this a great way of doing it, and again, it's because it's not as right now in 2021, it's not as prominent. Maybe later on it's going to be difficult to do it, but hey, take advantage of it now when it's not being done. This is when people, create breakthroughs. Okay. The next thing is, and this goes without saying, you want to provide value first. This goes without saying, guys, because, and this is with every platform, this is something that you can't, you cannot miss out, because this is going to, if you don't provide value first, guys, you're going to hurt your chances of really prospecting, because they're going to block you, they're going to just disconnect from you, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't want to bombard leads with messages before providing them with some value. So if you're reaching out to them, let's say, the chances are that other marketers are doing that as well. Not as much as in Facebook and in LinkedIn, but they are doing it. Okay. So if they see a dozen of mostly the similar messages from people, copy and pasting stuff, or, maybe some automation tools or whatever, they're not going to be responding. Okay. So the idea behind prospecting on Instagram shouldn't be what you can get out of it, if that makes sense. At least not initially. Okay. So it shouldn't be that. It should be either to amplify their message by, say, sharing their posts or your story. Okay. On sharing their posts on your story, excuse me. So for example, that's a good example anyway. That's what I'm meant to say. That's a good example, is sharing your posts. Sharing their posts on your story is a really cool example of, hey, you're amplifying their message. They're gonna like you. They want to give it back to you, or to provide them with a solution to a problem that they're facing or haven't anticipated. That is even better. Okay, the sharing part is easy, but if you can provide somebody with a solution to a problem that they're facing, or a problem that they haven't even anticipated, that's even more powerful. So think about that. How can you add value on your posts or on your messaging to your ideal audience? The other one is, you don't want to be too aggressive. Okay, nobody likes overly salesy behavior. No one likes it. I don't know the first guy or gal who does. Okay, so just as you wouldn't be, a salesperson to be all up in your, just like you wouldn't like a salesperson to be all up in your personal space at a store. You know how when people a lot of times, you just take this as an example. A lot of times you go into a store and you're looking for jeans. A lot of times, my girlfriend and I will go. We were just in a Levi's thing, and she was looking for jeans. And we were just looking, and a salesperson came up to us and said, "Hey, can I help you?" And we said, "No, we're just looking." So it's the kind of same thing. I mean, we ended up buying some stuff there, but this is the same thing, is what I mean. Okay, so you don't want the lead. You want the lead to appreciate you. But if you bombard them with DMs over and over and over again with zero value, or maybe like one or two things, one of the two DMs have value, that's too aggressive because you're not really adding value. So the best way to approach this, guys, is to treat them as you'd like to be treated. I mean, I know that goes without saying. I know that's very cliche, but it is what it is, and it's the truth. Okay, so you want to try to get your message across to them in a balanced and natural way. Okay, so it's got to be kind of that. The key thing to what I just said there is balance. Balance. Okay, and it does have to appear natural, but I think the more key thing is balanced. Okay, so the idea is to get them to understand the potential of your offer. Not for them to feel like if you're hounding them. So that's what I mean by don't be too aggressive, okay? Next thing that I want to talk to you about, last and definitely not least, is you want to be patient. Being patient is definitely a payoff, guys, in the long run, especially with social media. Any social media platform, not just Instagram. It's really possible that you properly approach 100 leads and only a couple of them will respond. It's very, very possible. It happens all the time. That's part of the game, though. That is part of the game. So you got to stay within the game and you'll see rewards. Don't be disappointed. Okay, and don't lose hope. That's the key of this. So patience at this stage will result, guys, in highly qualified leads because you're going to get better at it and better at it and better at it. And you're going to find out what you got to do. So here's the thing. Those that do respond is what you got to worry about. I mean, that you concern yourself with. The ones who don't, they don't. Who cares? But the ones that do respond will likely see the value of your proposition, and that's the key. Therefore, you have a greater chance, guys, to converting that lead into a customer or a client, whichever type of business you have. Okay. Now, one of the most important things I can tell you about this before I close is that you don't fail to deliver what you've promised. Here's what I mean. Prospecting on Instagram can work wonders for your business. Once it helps you win the lead, the rest of all of what we talked about depends on how you deliver what you promise. Okay? So you can do all the prospecting you want, but if you're not delivering what you promise, whatever your lead in is, whatever your hook is, etc., you're toast. So that is really the last thing that I wanted to talk to you. Don't fail to deliver what you promise. I'll never forget. I'm gonna end this episode with a quick story. I'll never forget. There was a client of mine who told me a story of when he first started his business, and he told me that every single time that he got a new client, he would always party and get happy. Oh my God, I'm gonna be the greatest. I'm gonna be the greatest. I'm gonna be the greatest. But then when he met up with the people, he really didn't have the know-how, the savviness the delivery mechanism to satisfy the customers. And sadly, he had to close. But then he learned from that mistake and he started his business again, and the rest is history. Now, he was in the mortgage industry, and he from the school of hard knocks. But the thing is the problem the reason he lost him is because he didn't deliver what he promised. He couldn't deliver what he promised. He didn't have enough knowledge. So don't fall into that problem. So let me go over this one more time, because I know I went kind of fast. I gave you a couple of strategies here. The DM strategy is very important. Use that platform to your advantage, okay? But the most powerful thing is the discovery tools within LinkedIn. I'm sorry, Instagram. I'm okay. I guess it's too early in the morning for me, guys. I'm sorry. All right. The discovery tools within Instagrams are powerful. It's very, very nice. So you want to use them to find leads. You want to look beyond the follower count. Just because someone has a follower count of 100,000 doesn't mean that someone with half that is not as desirable. You want to look into their profile and check them out really good before you hit them up on the DM. You want to provide value first. When you hit somebody up on a DM, just don't hit them up and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Provide some value. Give them something that you know that they're going to like or benefit from, okay? You don't want to be too aggressive, though. You want to be hitting these people up like crazy every single time, because even if you do have something great for them, they're just gonna block you or whatever, okay? And definitely last but not least, you want to be patient. This isn't a sprint. It's definitely a marathon, but it pays off in the end, okay? So that's what I have for you guys today. If you have any questions about this, or if you know of anyone that you think would benefit from this, please share this episode with them. I love you guys. I want to see you guys prosper with this. Use the material that I'm giving you here. So until next week, this has been Frank Deming, the local business guy. Take care, folks, and bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. Don't forget, any links that were mentioned during the broadcast will be available to you in the show notes, so be sure to grab them while you have the chance. Incidentally, if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss on the show, be sure to send an email to the email provided in the show notes, or click the Contact Us link and let us know what topic you would like us to help you with, and we'll be sure to add it to our schedule. If you would like for Frank and his team to look at your digital marketing presence and give you a free evaluation, simply click the Request a Free Consultation link in the show notes to get a hold of them. That being said, until our next episode, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.